Hello, it's Andrew Shaffer, author of Hope Never Dies, an Obama-Biden mystery. And the first question that we have is, you started a series with two unusual heroes. Can you tell us a bit about this? Yes, I can. Hope Never Dies stars Barack Obama and Joe Biden. The story is about an Amtrak train conductor who dies under mysterious circumstances. And it's up to Barack Obama and Joe Biden to find out who killed him. They're the only ones that believe he was murdered. So they are thrust into the roles of amateur sleuths. They're sort of like Sherlock and Watson. It's a fun story. It's got a very serious plot filled with twists and turns, just like you'd have with any type of murder mystery. So the characters, though, themselves are funny. They get into sort of ridiculous situations. I think people are going to have a lot of fun with the book. The next question is, did Joe Biden really have a strong relationship with the Amtrak employees? Joe Biden was an Amtrak train rider for many, many years while he was in the Senate, over 3 decades. He put in hundreds of thousands of miles on the Amtrak train between his home in Wilmington, Delaware, and then Washington, D.C., where he worked in the Senate. And over that course of time, he became very good friends with a lot of the conductors, a lot of the employees that worked for Amtrak. He knew them all by name. Joe Biden was such a friend to the Amtrak workers, in fact, that he called them his second family. The next question was, how was the reaction of the media in the United States when the book came out? At first, I think that people thought the book was a joke. A lot of people saw the cover, or they assumed that there wouldn't be much of a story here. But once you pick up the book and you read it, you realize that, hey, this is a real murder mystery, and it's a real story about friendship, about mending fences, and about getting back on your feet after you've been knocked down. So I think Hope Never Dies is an inspirational story. It's not just a clever title. I really think that hope is in short supply these days. The next question is, in the book Hope Never Dies, we have a dream sequence where Obama comes by to pick up Joe Biden and says, hey, we're heading towards 2020. You're going to be a presidential candidate. Let's go set up your headquarters in Iowa. And now it's come true. I wasn't really sure what Joe was going to do, whether he was going to get into the race or not when I was writing Hope Never Dies. I just knew that there was interest from people out there. Joe Biden was on his own book tour, and everywhere he went, chants would break out, "Run, Joe, run! Run, Joe, run!" So he remained a very popular political figure, despite the fact that he wasn't running for office when I wrote the book. And now it's 2019, and he's currently in the lead for the Democratic presidential nomination. There's still a long time to go. We don't know what's going to happen between now and next November, but it certainly, I think it speaks to Joe Biden's popularity that he's come out of the gate here really strong for a candidate. Even though, he's had a few gaffes here and there, that's just Joe being Joe. I think people expect that. Are Biden and Obama aware that they're in the investigating business? The answer is yes, they are. Last year, I met Joe Biden at one of his rally campaign stops here in Kentucky. That's where I live in the U.S. And he was well aware of the book. In fact, he signed a copy of the book for me. And I don't think that happens very often for an author where their main character actually signs a copy of their book for them. So he only had really nice things to say about the book. We had a short conversation, and I've also heard that Barack Obama also had a copy of the book. I haven't been lucky enough to meet Barack yet, but they're both aware of it, and I think they both, see the humor in it, and are at least are entertained by the concept. And the last question is, there is a second case on the way. That book is called Hope Rides Again. At least that's the U.S. title of the book, and it's about Joe Biden and Barack Obama solving a murder mystery, this time set in Chicago, which is Barack Obama's adopted hometown. And it's a very different story. One of the things we also don't know is what's going to happen with Joe. Is Joe Biden going to, win the Democratic presidential nomination? It looks like it's going to be a really, really tough campaign for him. Fingers crossed here that there's another case in the cards for them.